standing here today with County Judge Lena Hidalgo and, of course, Adrian Garcia, County Commissioner of Precinct 2. And then City Councilman Robert Gallegos, and this is in his area. Right, in this area. Of course, the mayor from
The City of Galena Park.
Yes, thank you. And then Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, Police Chief Art Acevedo, and Fire Chief Pena, along with several others. Let me just provide an update as to where we are and how we got here. This morning, we had a private contractor, Harper Brothers, that was doing some repair work on the line that's in question. And just before they got to the major portion where it was a gradual leak that was occurring in this 96-inch pipeline, main line, just before they got to it, the main line burst, and it's a major line, 96 inches. In fact, from the water from the Northeast Water Purification Plant provides about 40 to 50% of the water in the Houston area. So this was a major break. And as you can see, it produced a lot of water, and it is still producing a lot of water. I can tell you that the line has been isolated on both ends. So the line has been isolated on both ends. But until it fully drains, because it pulls water from all over, and so until it fully drains, it will continue to spew out water, although at a diminishing rate. We're going to be doing everything we can and working even with TxDOT in order to pump up that water. Okay, but for right now, until the line drains, it will continue to produce water. We're watching the homes right along Clinton Drive, because for those of you who've seen the area, the water is kind of getting close in people's yards. And so we want to watch it very carefully. And so I've instructed Public Works, for example, to bring some things out to try to help to secure people's homes, to keep the water from entering their homes. The water pressure has been low since this line erupted, and the water pressure, I suspect, will continue to be low over the next several hours. Now, in some places, the water pressure may start to rise a little bit, but for all practical purposes, let's just say that the water pressure will continue to be low for the next several hours. That includes the downtown area, can also go into the medical center area. For example, the municipal court has been affected, and we've ceased operations at municipal courts for the rest of the day. So the water pressure for the next several hours will continue to be low. For any food establishment in the city of Houston where food is being served and you don't have water, they must immediately cease operations. So if you're a food establishment and if you don't have water, it's one thing to have low pressure, but if you don't have water, then you have to immediately cease. And because the pressure pretty much throughout our large portion of the city of Houston area dropped so low, just based on Texas Commission on Environmental Qualities, their regulatory policies, I anticipate that you will probably have to boil water in the city of Houston for the next 24 hours if you're part of the Houston's water system. Now, that does not include Kingwood, for example, or Clear Lake. But for the rest of the city of Houston, for the next 24 hours, for precautionary purposes and based on regulatory policies, I anticipate them issuing an order saying that people in the city of Houston on the main water source will have to boil water for the next 24 hours. But our goal is to move as quickly as possible, and I've instructed Public Works to take all necessary steps in order to isolate the break, to shut it off, to drain the lines, and to make the repairs, and to do it as quickly as possible. Now, I anticipate to do all of that will take about 6 to 8 hours because it is a main break. So I would just say to people, anticipate having to kind of experience low pressure for about 6 to 8 hours, even though within that 6 to 8 hours in some places the pressure may start to rise again. but this is just from a general perspective about 6 to 8 hours. So that's pretty much where we are. I do want to thank TxDOT for their support, especially in pumping water. I want to thank the first responders, firefighters, our police officers for responding very, very quickly. Chief Acevedo would be able to tell you there were probably about 12 vehicles that were trapped in water on 610, right at 610 in Clinton. No injuries at all were reported. So that's a good thing. So if you can hold for 1 second, let's kind of go through this. So let me stop right now. I think that covered everything that I wanted to kind of lay out. And the other thing is that over the course of the next several hours, let me just ask people to conserve water, so to maintain the pressure as much as possible. So let me just encourage you to do that. But I just simply want to assure people it was a main water break, 96 inches this morning. Pressure is low. Will remain low for the next several hours, and people are working feverishly to get things restored as quickly as possible. And even though the break has been shut off on both ends, it is going to take some time to drain the water out of the lines, and it's going to take about 6 to 8 hours to get the work fully done.